Beyond just doorways, comfort equals pain and love. A warm welcome home. Music, a medium of expression that can evoke a plethora of emotions. Though interpretations of any musical piece may vary, there is typically a general sense of commonality in regards to an overall theme. What I bring you today is a list of scores that go against that idea of commonality regarding a theme. Because today, I will be presenting particular songs I found to resonate a feeling of home. No dictionary or legal definition can truly encompass the wide variety of emotions that people throughout the world attribute to the concept of home. For some, it represents a place where one can return to, a place where one can both laugh and cry, a place where one can love and be loved, or where someone can retreat to for comfort and safety. However, I do realize home means different things to different people. For some, the idea of home is less accommodating. For others, home is out of their reach. In other cases, home is not necessarily a place they return to, but simply understanding yourself and where you come from. Basically, home being where the heart is. For me, the following video game pieces evoked various emotional elements that to me represented the idea of home. I realize nostalgia plays a large role in this, but I'll try to give you justifications to the best of my ability. With that in mind, let us begin. Despite me saying I'd be trying to give you my best justifications as to why I chose a song, this one in particular I find rather difficult to explain. Great start, right? In Kingdom Hearts, you pop up in Traverse Town to try and come to grips with your situation after being warped from your island, well, home. Though oddly enough, the Destiny Islands didn't leave much of an impact on me as a place anyone would care about. Sure, main character Sora keeps making a promise to himself to take Kairi back there, but that place always felt like an afterthought. To me, Traverse Town signifies a place where Sora truly begins his growth as he forms the first of his strongest bonds and friendships. Sometimes home isn't necessarily where your destination is, but instead a very powerful point of origin or launchpad. Or it could just be the instrumental composition being emotionally manipulative. Like, I never wanted to leave the world sort of manipulative. I like my take on an origin story better though. Here's one that might be easier to explain. Animal Crossing, being a game all about creating your ideal home, has plenty of songs that provide that comforting, home-like feeling. As in the title, this piece starts playing during the hour of 11 AM in the morning. It's near noon, about time people go out for lunch, and on a day off, the perfect time to begin just dawdling your day away in the confines of your room. Just you being you in the best place to do just that. A perfect theme to begin your day, live your day, or end your day. All in the comfort of your home. Timeless Town is an airy tune with what sounds to me Celtic-inspired influence. In Rogue Galaxy, the main protagonist, Jaster Rogue, grew up as an orphan and would eventually go on to join a crew of space pirates in order to learn more about his past. On his journey, he eventually comes across a lively town in the middle of a desert called Johannesburg. At first, Jaster admits to having an odd feeling about this town, but what could initially be mistaken for suspicion might actually be an unearthing of nostalgia. It turns out, Johannesburg is his birthplace, and his parents are extremely influential characters in the story. It is here he learns of his origins and his deep connection to his legacy, while establishing the importance of his existence in the universe. The music associated with this town feels like it attempts to evoke a sense of unknown yearning as with Jaster to his past. It's an odd feeling of being able to hold sentimentality with a place never visited before, but still be able to build a connection to realize your own growth. I don't know if it's the melodic chiptune quality that does it, but something about this tune truly makes me feel at home in Pallet Town. It's the point of origin for almost every Pokemon fanatic since the beginning. A small town with a brief story, Pallet Town was the launching point for an entire generation of Pokemon fans. From having your mother acknowledging your time to leave to your acquisition of your first Pokemon, you already know you have to say goodbye to the comforts of home to venture into the great unknown. There's definitely a strong sense of nostalgia driving my decision on this one, but I am certain this tune fits in with this video's theme. I was debating between this or Final Fantasy VIII's theme to Fisherman's Horizon, but ultimately chose this. In Final Fantasy IX, the village of Dali is the first town you come across after an entire ordeal of drama and mayhem, and it provides quite the respite. The village of Dali at first seems like a quiet, sleepy town without much excitement. Granted, there are a few developments that disturb the quiet stillness, but even afterwards it manages to maintain its peaceful existence. When this piece enters your head, it feels like your worries get swept away as you try to recall all the things past that make you happy. Be it in game or reality, the theme for this quaint little town manages to leave its mark. Sorta makes me consider living in a place like that. At number 5, a really underrated and often forgotten piece from an important title in gaming history. Nothing about the situation in which you encounter this theme actually has anything to do with the idea of home. It merely starts playing when you come across a sleeping piranha plant. But when I sit and listen, something about this lullaby appeals to the deepest depths of my emotions. Like it draws out these feelings I've once forgotten. Feelings I once knew and were in tune with. Feelings that made me, well, me, once upon a time. In Super Mario 64, I think this is the only musical piece of its kind, and that only makes it stand out much more. Did you ever think that a game like The Sims could have such a well-orchestrated soundtrack? Surprisingly, the original Sims provided a lot of homey ambience with the tracks it had. When accessing different menus or modes, your ears were bound to be hit with one of these melodious pieces. This track is one of few that pops up during the building phase of the construction of your house. It's another piece that sort of fills you with longing, but also gives you that sense of, finally, a place I can call my own. Grandma! Poor Grandma! Your sister is abducted and it's up to you to go out and rescue her, but that means you gotta leave home and leave Grandma all alone. I feel this theme not only encapsulates the ideal of home, but family as well. For many, without family, there is no home. And that was surely the case when it came to Link's reasoning for his initial departure from Onset Island. I know, Grandma. You'll have to endure a bit of loneliness until I can get the whole family back together again. I promise. Sometimes you just need a place where you can rest your head and forget about the troubles of the day. What better way to find peace than amongst those who share your struggles and goals? Especially if on average your daily life has you risking your life to ensure the survival of yourself and others. This piece blends aspects of previous songs I mentioned and creates a soothing vocal lullaby-esque song. An interesting tidbit about the musical pieces with vocals from the Nier series is that they all utilize a imagined language. So no, you're not going crazy if you think you can't pinpoint the language of origin to this piece. However, that doesn't stop it from being able to replicate speech patterns and emotional delivery as with real languages. At the top of my list, Corner of Memories from Persona 4. You're a high school kid forced to move to a new town on your own. It's a rough transition, but then you end up making the best friends and companions you could ever hope to meet through the chaotic situations you get thrown into. As you overcome your inner demons and form stronger bonds with your newfound allies, you realize through the culmination of struggles and friendships that you always have a place to go back to, and in turn a permanent place in the hearts of the lives you touched. At least, that's how I felt after playing through Persona 4 and whenever I hear this piece. Its instrumental composition just feels like it goes hand in hand with bittersweet farewells, but also fits with those moments where you realize your place amongst good company. Here, home is truly where the heart is. Here's an overview of my list for this video. As you've heard from the selection, my ideal of home seems to be evoked through gentle, harmonious sounds that call back to youthful days, following a trend of new age patterns with ethereal melodies. I'd be really interested into hearing what home sounds like to you. Maybe leave a comment or something below with an example and I too can share in your experience. With those thoughts in mind, this concludes this ZMW ranking. I'll see you again. Bye bye.